there is one light tank that almost made me pull out my hair while trying to mark it. The Tesak. But after it got buffed in update 2.0, I heard so many positive things about it that I hesitantly decided to give it another try. My expectations were rock bottom.
Hello? 500 on the cross!
Tesak has awful camo, it is the size of an elephant, gets outspotted by everything, you can't hide it anywhere. Playing it is no fun. Yeah, you can have a nice moment even with the worst tank, but my opinion won't change so quick.
What is this thing?
Somehow we ended up with over 5,000 damage with the buff Tesak, so I decided to play it just a little bit more. And I invite you to join me on this journey, where we will find out if Tesak is actually fun. Our adventure begins in Murovanka, where light tanks feel at home. The only thing that stands between us and a great game here is the enemy Air-Champ Panzerwagen. Therefore, our first goal is to take him out, and luckily, we have a plan.
I have a plan, guys. I have a plan how to outplay the Air-Champ.
Light tanks on Murovanka often start their game around this area, trying to get some early spots, and usually this is a safe play. But I decided to try and hack this building to set up an ambush and surprise the Air-Champ with a clip of HE rounds.
GG!
The enemy light tank fell right into our trap, and the next target is already on the horizon. We didn't get spotted while shooting the FV. This tells us that there are likely no enemies left in the trees in front of us. So now we can advance, spot remaining enemies and get some side shots. And this Gorilla 15 looks like a perfect target for another HE clip. HE rounds are the biggest strength of the Tesak. With 1800 damage clip potential, we can kill even some tier 10 tanks within a single clip. But we only have 50mm of penetration, so we need to choose our targets carefully. And for the Leopard 120, we have to use AP rounds.
Where is he? Yo, Leo. Brother! Somebody spot him!
While looking for the Leopard, we caught M48 Patton in the open, and he got immediately vaporized by our team, giving us full assistance. Just because we countered enemy light tank at the beginning, we made it impossible for the enemies to play in the forest. Vegetation that's supposed to provide cover has now become a death trap for them. Tesak might be a worse scout than other light tanks, but that doesn't matter if it's the only light tank alive. At this point, no enemy on the field can match us in terms of vision, camo on the move, and mobility, which allows us to move freely across the map and choose the next target for our deadly clip.
Can opener! Guys, do we go again with HE rounds on can opener? That's probably a suicide. I think we should do it anyway. Oh, guys. Yeah. This is such a stupid move. That's why we are doing it.
Be careful. This is our track. We need it. Our track has received a lot of damage.
Somehow, enemy tank destroyer and T-83 are bouncing their shots. I should have been dead by now, but we still have a lot of HP remaining. We can simply take a shot from T-83 and flank him to do full clip of damage. But it didn't go as planned.
He needs the same treatment, guys, I think. What is this disrespect, bro? Oh, the two... you gotta be... Of course, the turret, man. The turret, dude!
Sometimes it can happen that you get lucky and survive when you should have died. Another time your turret gets jammed and you miss on the damage. You can't control RNG, but you can control how you play around it.
5.9? Yet again, boys. What is this tank? Hello?
Choosing a good starting position and taking out the enemy light tank first allowed us to end this game with 6k damage and 3k assistance. And to demonstrate that this is not an accident, let's jump into the next game on Outpost. This time, we are up against 2 light tanks at once. A safe play would be to start the game behind the bushes here and wait for the enemies to make mistakes. But since we are underpowered in the stealth game, I don't want to play passive. So instead, we will go the risky route and attempt to take the middle. If enemy light tanks strike the same, we might be able to surprise them with our mighty HE clip.
Why not? I usually don't do this. But I usually don't play the Tesak.
Permission to engage. Extract damage.
It turns out the enemy Tesak had the same idea, but he started shooting too early and wasted his clip. Instead, we waited for his soft armor to be exposed and were able to take him out. That's 1 light tank down, and we secured the map control for our team. Now, with nobody to punish on the heavy flank, I want to take a quick peek towards the enemy base instead. If we are lucky, we might be able to dig out a little treasure.
Let's load cheeky HE rounds. Maybe there is FV here, guys.
Now that's a lot of damage. Enemy armor is damaged.
What is this thing, dude?
With another 1000 damage secured, we are now ready for our next move. If you are a fellow light tank enjoyer, you know just how much intel you can get from the minimap. And looking at the positions of my team, I've noticed that our ARHM cleared this entire area. It means we can now flank this isolated group of tanks, including Can Opener.
Yeah, turn. Don't you want to turn, brother? Don't you want to turn to fight the busy? Come on.
With only 50mm of HE penetration, we have to wait for a perfect moment.
Target acquired. Enemy armor is hit. Got him.
That was 1567 damage in seconds to one of the most armored heavy tanks in the game. And we are almost ready to dump our next clip into the IS-7.
Now that's a lot of damage.
At this point, the remaining enemies are trapped in the corner, and we want to get as much damage as possible. We start with a little snack. But then, I got too confident.
I'm loading HE for the Rhino.
Blinded by the successful ambush on Can Opener previously, I thought I could do it once again. But it didn't go as planned.
Enemies hit. Come here.
You see, have I loaded AP rounds from the very beginning, I would have been able to do 800-900 damage on this rhinoceronte. But I'm still struggling here, trying to track him, hoping to survive.
Okay, bro, okay. It was my mistake. I should not have underestimated his armor.
And so this time, we have AP rounds ready. Now, he has no chance.
Fire. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And just like this, in under 5 minutes, we managed to do 6000 damage with a light tank.
6k damage! Again!
With a little bit of luck in the beginning, we had another great game. But now, there is a true challenge in front of us. we landed on Sand River. Usually this map isn't too bad for light tanks, but since engagement happens mostly over long distances, we need to think how can we play out the strength of our tank, which is the gun. As you can see, shooting at the VZ crossing only yielded us 68 damage. Going here, I hope to provide some early information about the crossing tanks, but the moment we get spotted ourselves, this position will become way too dangerous, and we will have to leave immediately.
Okay, let's go together with this pack of mediums.
If we want to have a good game, we need to use our burst potential. That means we have to get into close combat, and the only place on this map where this is possible at this stage of the battle is in the hills up north, where the enemy E5 was spotted. If we surprise him, we might be able to do a full clip of damage, but there are still plenty of unspotted enemies that can be anywhere. And if they end up with the E5, we are driving straight into the trap.
I don't think it's a good idea what I'm doing, but if I sneak behind him unspotted, it's gonna be fun.
Luckily, the T110 E5 seems to be alone.
That's a lot of damage. Enemy armor is damaged.
Oh my god, guys.
After taking our clip, the T110 E5 decided to retreat. The worst thing we can do now is to chase him, because that would expose us to the enemy TDs waiting in their base. Instead, it's time to take a look at the minimap to search for new opportunities elsewhere.
We tried to find Gorilla. Look how aggressive the Gorilla is. Let's load HE and see if we can find the shot on him. But with these tanks dying here, we have Manticore in these positions, unfortunately.
Leaving the middle earlier allowed the enemy Manticore to rule freely and left our artillery unprotected. Sadly, he took full advantage of it, and now we are 4 tanks down. But Manticore is simply a better scout. He can sneak from bush to bush undetected, which is something the Tesak can only dream of. So I will let the Manti enjoy his little victory for now. He wins the first round, but we plan to win the whole game. Previously, Gorilla 15, Budget, and Object 261 literally died on our base. This tells me that Manticore advanced in these bushes, and now I want to go to proxy spot him. Together with the help of the Leopard, I hope to kill Manticore. Arriving in the position, however, we find Manticore already on the run. He saw our push coming and escaped in time with just a couple of scratches. But this duel is far from over, and seeing how close this game is, I'm sure our swords will clash again. Before we can think about our next move, Gorilla 15 gets spotted right next to us. And you know me, I can't resist such a trick, so we switch to H rounds and take him out. But we shouldn't be staying here any longer if we don't want to take heavy damage from the Leopard 1. Looking at the minimap, I spot the opening in the enemy defense. In the south, the isolated WZ gets killed by our FV, leaving the flank of the enemy mediums unprotected. Since last time we were spotted in the middle, running away from the Leopard 1, nobody will expect us peeking here.
Enemy armor destroyed.
With this kill on the enemy Leopard 1, the situation has changed in our favor, and our next isolated target is going to be this Type 5 Heavy. In order to be able to pen him, we would have to get literally behind him, and our team is a perfect distraction. This Type 5 is doomed.
Enemy armor is damaged.
While almost our entire team is busy fighting the Type 5 Heavy, the enemy Manticore killed our FV near our base. And this is where I realized a huge problem. If the enemy starts the cap now, our heavies won't be fast enough to get back in time. But seeing that Manticore just drove past our base, I knew exactly what to do next.
They're not capping. That's a big mistake, guys. I go try to assassinate the RT, and then go for Manti.
Penetration.
We managed to take down the budget RT, But the T-92 that I expected around the corner was nowhere to be found.
Where's the other arc?
And that's where it struck me.
They end the platoon altogether. Okay.
Until now, I failed to realize that Manticore is playing together with M48 Patton and T-92. No wonder the moment I got spotted at the beginning of the game, Artishot followed almost immediately. These guys are good, and their communication is on point. But sooner or later, everyone is bound to make mistakes.
We catch the Manti, and we cannot lose this game.
Enemies hit. That one, in fact, not penetrate.
Finally, the Manticore gets to taste the full force of the Tesak.
Yeah, Arty moved. Arty is there, guys. Nice.
After killing the Manticore, victory is now within reach.
Now that was awesome and epic. Crap, it bounced. Enemy armor is damaged.
Okay, they have no choice but to push forward because I pressured them from behind.
If we fumble this, they will be able to run away from the mouse and potentially win the game. But with so much HP remaining, we are just going in.
Advance. Come here. They got the commander. We can't see what's going on. Gotcha. Enemy armor destroyed.
Boom! 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 Boom!
Hello?
6,000 damage on a map that wasn't even good for the Tesak. And now, I present you the biggest challenge for any Lightning player in World of Tanks. A game on Berlin. On this map, it doesn't matter how many light tanks the enemies have. Everything is against you, and your options are limited. You cannot move, you cannot spot, you cannot flank, and if you get spotted yourself, you risk of being blown up in pieces by enemy tank destroyers. It's very easy to get demotivated. But if we will find a way to have a great game here, it will feel so much more rewarding. Starting this game in the center, we get the first glimpse of one of our most loyal customers, the enemy FV. We only scratched him now, but we will make sure to get back to him later.
Oh, I want to push that light. Guys, what can stop me of doing it?
I've noticed that most of the enemies revealed their positions. And I'm thinking that this RHM is isolated, so if we can cross like this unspotted, we can get him. With the plan in mind, I decided to go for it. And since this RHM Panzerwagen is quite healthy, we have to switch to HE rounds with only 50mm of penetration. But if we get lucky, we could delete him in just one clip.
Now that's a lot of damage. Enemy armor is hit.
RHM managed to survive our clip, but with just 60 HP remaining, he won't be much of a threat. And with just a glimpse on the minimap, I immediately spotted our next target, the Badger.
This can be glorious, guys. This can be glorious.
Now that's a lot of
Woohoo!
By paying attention to the minimap, we were able to do 2 quick maneuvers that granted us already 2,400 damage. Now we have a big advantage on the heavy flank, and I want to be aggressive to get as much out of it as possible.
So what's the situation here, guys?
permission to engage. Enemy
Oh,
enemy vehicle destroyed.
Right after this, I started sprinting towards lightly armored tank destroyers to try and tickle them to death.
I need that FV, guys.
Having 1800 damage in the clip, we just have to hit our shots to send this paper tank destroyer in the next game. Right after the FV kindly donated his HP, our other good friend, the enemy Gorilla, decided to shoot us, revealing his position.
Too bad I couldn't spot him.
Since our mediums are closing in, it's just a matter of time for him to get spotted, so we will just patiently wait here with the HE clip ready.
Enemy armor is
Not so well, boy. What happened to Mouse? Just wait, guys. Just let me finish him. 5.6 thousand damage on Berlin with the lightning.
All there was left to do is to get as much damage as possible on the remaining enemies.
Extract damage. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
6.5k. Go back in cover, bro.
Ready to fire.
Go back in cover.
Enemy armor destroyed.
What?
If you loved watching the Tesak, make sure to check out the 49 video, a lighting that can do 1000 damage in a single shot.